Hello, my name is Beth from the Education Alliance. The Education Alliance exists to mobilize business and community support for public schools. And one of the things that we are passionate about is partnerships to increase college access for students just like you. Today's virtual visit is made possible with support from the West Virginia Higher Education Policy Commission. Today, we are going to be visiting Pierpont Community and Technical College. We will be stopping throughout the visit 3 times for a question and answer session. Teachers, I want you to interact with your students. So when I ask a question, please pause, talk to your students, and then we're going to use the chat feature as a way to communicate. So you'll chat your class's answers or any questions that they may have during our visit. So let's practice that. At this time, please chat your school name, and I would love to know how many middle school students are with us today. So chat your school name followed by the number of students that we have in with us today. All right, so while they're getting their numbers in the chat feature, I'm going to turn our tour over to Raven from Pierpont Community and Technical College. Hi, Raven.
Hi. So like Beth said, my name is Raven. I'm with Pierpont Community and Technical College. I'm the student involvement coordinator. So that means that I oversee all of our student organizations and clubs, our student government, and all of our student activities as well. And I have a special guest with me today. This is Monty, our lion mascot. Say hi, Monty. All right. Well, thank you, Monty, for stopping in. It was nice to see you. Monty was very excited to see all of you today. So why don't we go ahead and get started with our slideshow here. Give me just a second. There we go. All right, so thank you all for inviting me to come and speak to you today. I'm very excited about it. As we said before, I'm with Pierpont Community and Technical College. So here's a little bit about what we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Pierpont. We're going to go through our different programs of study. We have 3 different categories: health careers, business, aviation, and technology, and then professional studies. And then we'll have some time for some questions. So before we dive into all of that, I have a little video that I'd like to show you all just to tell you a little bit about Pierpont. Oop.
Almost heaven, West Virginia. Deep in the rolling hills.
Oops, sorry. Can you all still see my screen?
We can see your screen. It's not in presentation mode though.
Oh, okay.
It's your PowerPoint, not in presentation mode.
Okay. Let me fix that here. Sorry, technical difficulty.
No problem. Absolutely, it happens. Luckily, our schools are really good at being patient and understanding. Yeah, and it's exciting. I just counted, we have about 85 students with us today. So really good number to have.
Almost heaven.
And teachers, while Raven is trying to figure out her video, let's go ahead and do the first interactive question. That way she can know what type of questions the students may have. So for the first question, I just want you to briefly talk to your students and ask them a question that they might want to ask this college. So what is one question they might have for Pierpont University? So you can chat those, and Pierpont can answer them now, or she might be touching on that as we continue with the presentation. The students, think about some things you might want to know some things that you might want to ask this specific college or just about college in general. Raven, do you have a link to the video that you could chat and maybe I could bring it up on my end?
I have it up already. It should be.
Okay, great.
Yes. Can you all see the video thumbnail now?
Yes.
Yep. All right, great.
Almost Heaven, West Virginia. Deep in the rolling hills, you will find Pierpont Community and Technical College. Pierpont Community and Technical College is a small institution with a tremendous amount of pride, primarily located in Fairmont, West Virginia. Welcome to Pierpont. Here, the mission is to provide accessible, responsive, comprehensive education that works. Here, they strive to make the college experience the best that it can be for every student. Pierpont takes pride in delivering us a personalized educational experience. Whether you're interested in welding, fixing airplanes, working in business, or the health field, there's something here for everyone. With more than 30 degree programs, ranging from respiratory care to their multiple nationally celebrated culinary programs, there are plenty of pathways to make your dreams become a reality. While you're here, you'll receive a hands-on education. With a 15-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio, you'll receive the focus and attention that you need from your instructors, giving you a quality education with a small college feel. Although the main campus is located in Fairmont, Pierpont allows students to continue their education close to home. With a 13-county service region in north central West Virginia, ranging from Braxton County to Monongalia County, Pierpont is home to several different campuses, meaning you can receive quality education right in your own backyard. They also offer online courses, including at least 2 programs that are offered completely online. Thinking about life after college? No problem. Pierpont takes pride in getting you ready to take on the next parts of your life. Your program is designed to make you completely career ready in just 2 short years or less. And if you want to continue your education even further, they have a variety of 2+2 agreements with universities around the country. You can begin with Pierpont, earn your associate's degree after 2 years, then continue at another school for 2 years to earn your bachelor's degree. Are you closing in on the end of your high school career? Get a jump start on your college education. You can begin taking your general education courses through Pierpont by utilizing dual enrollment opportunities. If you're in a pathway, then you can begin at Pierpont with an EDGE. In the EDGE program, you can complete a career pathways program at your local high school or technical center. Both programs are an affordable way to get a jump start on your college careers. Now I bet you're thinking, isn't college expensive? It doesn't have to be. Pierpont offers a wide variety of financial aid opportunities. In fact, 81% of students received financial aid in 2018, ranging from scholarships to grants. They take pride in helping find the right financial aid fit for you. And speaking of that, go check out the West Virginia Invests Grant. It's the state-funded grant program that pays towards the full cost of basic tuition and mandatory fees for select certificate and associate degree programs at a West Virginia public 2- or 4-year institution. It's a last dollar in program, meaning it will pay for any amount up to the total cost of tuition and mandatory fees not already covered by other state or federal grants or scholarship and institutional tuition waivers. Still not convinced? Why not check out what makes Pierpont unique? Come visit and find out what makes Pierpont truly special. As you begin this next stage in your life, why not begin right here? You'll receive a quality education in a career field that you can be proud of. So apply now and become a member of the Pierpont Pride. Pierpont, education that works.
All right, so let me bring up my PowerPoint again. Hold on just a second.
And Raven, while you're bringing that up, I just wanted to point out that we did have some questions come through. And I know some of the things you're probably going to be talking about, and some of the things it did mention in the video, like, for example, they wanted to know where you guys were located. And I know in the video it said in Fairmont, West Virginia. Yes. They also want to know about aviation career programs and what type of disability services that you offer, as well as cost for tuition. So just want to let you know all of those questions so you can address them throughout the presentation.
Sure can. So I will be talking about our aviation program. I do want to touch on the disability services. So we have an Office of Counseling and Disability Services that work with students who need accommodations, who have IEPs, 504 plans, all of that. So her name is Dr. Susan Clemens. She heads that office and she is wonderful. So if a student were to come to Pierpont that needed those sorts of accommodations, they could always go to her office. Her door is always open. She's certainly able to work with all of the students and the professors to make sure that all the students have the same opportunities for learning and education. So next, I want to talk to you about student involvement. As I said, I'm the student involvement coordinator, so it just makes sense that this is what I would be talking to you about. We have over 10 clubs and student organizations, as well as our student government. So there are many, many opportunities for students to get involved, meet new people, make new friends, and just really feel like they belong here at Pierpont. We really pride ourselves in providing a family-like environment for our students. You know, we're a community and we're in this together. So here you can see some pictures of our student government and some of our student organizations. They did the Winterfest parade last year in Clarksburg. So some of our students walked in that parade and handed out candy. And then you can see there's our friend Monty again. Our student government participates in the trunk or treats around town. They do events around campus and get students involved. So a lot of fun stuff happens here, not just learning, even though learning is fun. We do have a lot of other things that happen outside of the classroom to get our students involved. Oh, so next would be talking a little bit about our programs. And I don't know if you wanted to pause here for questions or if we had already done.
Yeah, so I want to know, are you going to be touching on any aviation career programs?
Yes, we'll be touching on that in just a few minutes.
Yeah, let's move forward with their programs, and I'll stop us in a few more minutes for more questions.
Okay, perfect. So our programs are split into 3 different categories or schools. So we have the School of Health Sciences, the School of Business, Aviation, and Technology, and the School of General Education and Professional Studies. So first, let's start with Health Sciences. As you can see our list of programs here, we have Health Information Technology, General Health Sciences, Medical Laboratory Technology, Physical Therapy Assistant, Radiologic Technology, Respiratory Care, Emergency Medical Services, Veterinary Technology, Laboratory Assistant, EMS or EMT, and then LPN or Licensed Practical Nursing. So here I've included a few pictures of some of our students. So this is one of our medical laboratory technology students. You can see he's getting ready to examine one of the specimens under the microscope here. He is actually sitting in our laboratory that we have on site. It's a fully functional laboratory. So these students get to work hands-on with all of the equipment and sample specimens, just like they would in an actual hospital setting. So it's set up to be just like the lab in a hospital, actual equipment, actual specimens, hands-on type of learning. Here you can see our vet tech students, and they're getting ready to administer a vaccination to this dog here. They also have a laboratory. Actually, they're getting a new lab that's being remodeled for them currently. So right now they're out of our Caperton Center in Clarksburg, and their lab is getting remodeled, and they're going to have kennels for the animals, as well as a grooming area, an examination room, a procedure room. So again, just like you would have at an actual vet's office. So these students are also getting that hands-on real world educational experience with actual animals before they can enter that career path. And then here we have some of our respiratory students. And again, they have their very own lab. It's set up to be just like a hospital room, and they have these simulator mannequins that they can administer breathing treatments to and oxygen. They can practice intubation on their patients to help them breathe and before they work on actual patients. So once again, with the real world experience and the hands-on learning, you'll find that a lot of our classrooms do have these lab simulations set up to be just as they would experience in the workplace. So now we have our School of Business, Aviation, and Technology. And within that school, we have our applied design, applied process technology, aviation maintenance technology, business, drafting and design engineering technology, graphics technology, information systems technology, petroleum technology, electrical utility technology, and advanced welding. So here again, our aviation maintenance program, you can see one of our students is working on the engine of an airplane there. We have several airplanes in our hangar in Bridgeport at the Aviation Center. These students, I feel like I'm saying this 1,000 times, but they get to work hands-on with these engines, and they get to know the ins and outs of all of the aviation maintenance that they would need in the field. A lot of the students in this program will leave and graduate with a job already. So there's no job searching for them. They have a job before they graduate. A lot of times within the area at Lockheed Martin and different companies like that. So they work on all of the mechanics for the airplanes, all of the things that make it work and make it fly, not necessarily the flying part itself, but all of the mechanical goings on of the airplane. And here we have some advanced welding students, and you can see our advanced welding instructor, Mr. Jack Lowe. So these students, again, have a hands-on lab all set up for them. So they work with the tools that they'll need afterwards, where they have their welding hoods, they have their torches and all the different things. They have a garage set up in the back of our campus, and they build different projects. And yes, they again, continue to work hands-on. I'm sorry, I'm like a broken record, but we just really emphasize that experience that our students get in working with our instructors, not just sitting in a lecture hall, but they really get to get in there and get to working and gain that experience before they graduate. And I think that a lot of our students find that very helpful, especially in these fields, that they're able to do that so that they know what they're doing once they're in the workforce. Here we have one of our drafting and design students in our lab here. He's working on drafting this graphic right here. These students also have another lab and there are always students in and out of that lab all the time. They have a 3D printer, they have cameras, they have everything that they could possibly need to work on their projects. A lot of those students are employed even before they're graduated as well. This just gives them that extra edge, that competitive edge that they need once they enter that field. All right, so now we're on to the School of General Education and Professional Studies, and this includes our American Sign Language and Interpreter Training Education Program, our Board of Governors program, which is just sort of like a general, like a liberal studies program for non-traditional students, criminal justice, early childhood education, culinary arts, nutrition and dietetic technology, pastry and baking arts, hospitality and tourism, liberal studies, and paralegal studies. All right, so this is our early childhood lab preschool, and they actually have a new preschool now that's just been remodeled and redone for them. You can see a few of our students here are working with the preschool students. They get to work with them one-on-one. This is an actual preschool, so these students come here every day and they learn from their preschool teacher as well as our students. Our students get to observe and work with them as part of their program so that they, once again, have the experience. We're all about that. All right, so this is one of our ASL interpreter training students. So you can see that she is working on interpreting for a program that's happening on her screen there. So that program works to train students in interpreting speech to sign and sign to speech so that they can be certified to be interpreters for the state. And then here we have our culinary arts program. You can see here they're plating some delicious food that they've made. They also just got a brand new kitchen and brand new lab at the Middletown Commons here in Fairmont, and it's very nice and very professional. We actually got a tour over there the other day. There were no students in there cooking at that time, unfortunately, but our culinary program was just ranked in the top 4 in the nation. So they are very proud of themselves. We also have a competition team that goes and cooks for different culinary competitions, and they compete all over the state and all over the nation. These students work a lot in the kitchen and with their instructors as well. Their instructors are professional chefs, so they get to learn all of the ins and outs of the kitchen and how to prepare foods and plate foods and present them and make them look nice and make them taste good. All right. So not only do we have 2-year associate degrees and 1-year certificates and skill sets, but we also have a few programs that allow you to start those degrees while you're in high school. So one option that you have is college credits. So this would be your AP or advanced placement courses. So you would take these while you're in high school, and then there's a test at the end that you would take to complete for college credit. So the next one that you have is dual enrollment. Pierpont offers dual enrollment options at many different high schools throughout the state. So you would take a college course for both college credit and high school credit. And depending on where you take it, it'll be either offered through your high school, so you'll have the class at your high school, or you would come to one of our campuses to take that course. So it would be coming to the college campus to take that course for credit. And then we have the EDGE program, and that is offered through the state of West Virginia. If you're in a pathway through your high school or your technical center, career technical center, you could earn college credit after you graduate through the EDGE program, and it stands for Earn a Degree, Graduate Early. All right, so now questions?
Yeah, this is a great time for us to stop and ask some questions. So teachers, I want you to ask your students, what was the most surprising thing they have learned about this college so far? So ask the students what's the most surprising thing they have learned about this college so far. And while they're thinking of the questions or the comments that they have, I just want to make a couple of comments. I noticed that you were laughing about how many times you were saying hands-on programs and experiences. And I think that's a wonderful problem to have, is to have so many programs that are hands-on and give you the experience. Because these students that are listening today that are middle school, they may think that going to college means just sitting and listening to a lecture, but that's not always the case. And I really appreciate that you are telling us about all these opportunities that are so fun and are more of building a skill that as soon as you're done learning the skill, you can go and have a job. For example, you mentioned your aviation program and how they leave with a job, and also how creative and fun your culinary program is. So does anyone have anything that they would like to say that's surprising about this college that they've learned so far? What's something, Raven, that you feel that the students or someone who doesn't know much about Pierpont would find surprising?
I think that our different campus locations. So I think sometimes when you think about college, if it's not right in your own backyard, you think, oh, I have to go away to college. You know, I can't live at home and save money. I can't, it's too far away for me to go. I should just stay home. But we offer classes throughout the state of West Virginia. We have various locations. We have, of course, Fairmont and Marion County. We have Clarksburg, we have Bridgeport, we do classes in Braxton County and in Lewis County. So we're all over the place. And of course we have our online program. So we have students from Hawaii and Alaska coming and completing those online programs and graduating. So it's not something that is not accessible to people just because of where they live. We're
Thank
all
you.
over the
Yes,
map.
so having a 13 county service region is huge.
Yes.
Okay, we
Mhm.
have some questions come in. Sherrard Middle School wants to know if you can give more information on the nursing program. And then the West Virginia Schools for the Deaf and Blind wants to know, can a student complete more than one program?
Sure. So about the nursing program, we have a licensed practical nursing program. So that is actually a 1-year certificate and not a 2-year program. So those students work not in-house in a lab, but they do clinicals outside in different hospitals. So they still get that in-person hands-on learning, just not on site. So those students will have learning opportunities within the classroom with their instructor, but they will also be able to go out into the actual hospitals, which could be even closer to home, because a lot of students will pick the hospital that's within their town or, close to their town. So that's even less of a travel for them, and even more of a family feel, because if that's your hometown, then you probably know some of those people at least. So they get to work hands-on with those people and gain that experience that way. So again, not necessarily in the classroom, although there is some classroom learning, of course, but the ability to go out into the community and work firsthand before graduating. All right, and what was the other question? I'm so sorry.
They wanted to know a little bit more about your nursing program.
Nursing? What?
Mhm.
Was there another question though?
Oh, if they can complete more than one program?
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Absolutely. So a lot of our students do complete more than one program. Typically, they don't work on 2 different programs at a time. So double majoring is not really something that our students do here at Pierpont, but they do complete 1 2-year program and then continue for another. For instance, a lot of our culinary students will complete their 2-year culinary degree, and then they will go on to do a pastry and baking degree or a nutrition and dietetics degree along with that. A lot of our applied design students will then come back to do drafting, engineering, and that sort of thing. So there are a lot of programs that sort of tie in together, and most of our students will complete those 2 degrees at a time. Or, some students will do a liberal studies degree and then come back for something that's completely different. There's no limit to what you can do. You can definitely decide to start 1 degree and finish another, or complete 2 different degrees or 3 different degrees. Sometimes we have students who do that also. So absolutely, you can complete more than 1 degree. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to affordability. I know, just speaking from my experience, when I was younger, it felt like college was just so out of reach because it just seemed so unaffordable at the time. Everyone talks about how expensive it is and student loans and all of that. But we're here to talk about how it can actually be really affordable for you all. So we'll talk a little bit about financial aid. So that is something that is received from the federal government. Any loans, grants, scholarships can be considered financial aid. So you'll complete what's called a FAFSA, and that's your federal application for student aid. And that will determine your eligibility for federal student loans, federal grants, and some federal scholarships as well, and some in-state scholarships. So we're a public institution. Generally, our tuition is lower than a private institution would be. I think our going rate for tuition right now is around $3,000 for a full-time student per semester. So that is actually much lower than some of the other four-year institutions that you may see. We've touched on this briefly before, but we are eligible for the West Virginia Invest Grant, and that you may have heard of the Free Community College Grant, and that would be the Invest Grant. So that is a grant that most West Virginia resident students are eligible for. There are certain criteria that they have to meet, but I would say most of our students do meet that criteria. So it's a last dollar in, so all of your other financial aid pays first, and then that will cover the remainder of your tuition and fees, mandatory tuition and fees. So that is a great resource for a lot of our students. They very much take advantage of that, because that if there's anything left over after financial aid that they have to pay out of pocket, the West Virginia Invest Grant comes in and takes care of that for them. Now, it doesn't cover like housing or books or anything like that, but we try to work to make that not as expensive for our students. So if there are open resource textbooks that are available to our students for free, we will try to find that resource for them so that they are not stuck buying a whole bunch of textbooks for an exorbitant amount of money. So we try to make it affordable for everyone. Again, we have state scholarships, we have in-house scholarships that our students are eligible for. Their application for admission is actually their scholarship application as well, so that would determine their eligibility. And then we also offer payment plans. So let's say you don't qualify for any financial aid at all, none at all, which is very rare. We do offer payment plans where students can pay out of pocket and make small increment payments instead of one lump payment. So we'll talk again about the different types of financial aid. We've talked about the FAFSA. It's a free application for student aid, and you can access that at studentaid.gov. There are many types of grant opportunities. West Virginia Invest Grant, you should definitely apply for that. That's a separate application from your FAFSA, and you can find that at wvinvests.org. There are also a few other state grants that are offered, and that would, your FAFSA would be your application for those, like the West Virginia Higher Education Grant. The Pell Grant is a federal grant, and there are a few other, there's the West Virginia HEAPS grant, that's for part-time students. So there are a few other grant opportunities there, and grants are free money. You don't have to pay those back. So that's the kind of money that we're all looking for. Yes, and then we have scholarships. We've talked about that. Our in-house scholarships, your application for admission is your application for your scholarships. So it's just one document and done. Loans, you may be eligible for loans, and those are things that you do have to pay back. So the federal government will determine if you're eligible for private loan, or for for federal loans. There are also private loans that you can apply for through different companies that are offering them, and those you would have to pay back. So just another thing that makes Pierpont accessible to students. We are an open institution, an open enrollment institution. So most of our programs don't require a minimum GPA or a minimum ACT or SAT test score. Now, some of our selective programs like the nursing program, the radiology technology program would require those certain admission requirements, but for general admission, we do not require those. And that is because education can be affordable, education is accessible, and education is for you. And here at Pierpont, we strive to make our educational experience one of the best and most affordable educational experiences in the state of West Virginia. And we feel that every student deserves the opportunity to get a college education. No matter who you are and where you've come from, you should have that same opportunity as everyone else.
Thank you so much, Raven. Let's just pause right here. And I think we already have some questions in the chat. I want to open it up for some more questions. You gave us a lot of information that we need to marinate on. So I do love that you were letting the students know that college is for people like you.
Mhm.
And I think that is an important thing to take away from this, is that you may think, well, I'm only in middle school and maybe I'm not the type that would go to school. It's for everyone. And you
Yeah.
can start preparing for college now. You might not have to go and apply for a FAFSA now, but you can start thinking about going to college and thinking about what you want to do and the different opportunities ahead in your state. And also, I love that you showed us that college is fun and it's an opportunity to learn, try new things, and meet new people. So I think some of the questions that are coming in from our students are about the social aspect and the campus life. So some of the students want to know, are there dormitories for students? And then also, it's a really important question to describe the campus's layout. So how easily a blind student can travel between classes and the building. And also, do you guys have a work-study program?
Okay, awesome. So at this time, we do not offer on-campus housing, so we don't have dorms. We do, however, work very closely with the apartment complexes in our areas so that our students will have the opportunity to choose where they want to live. So we're not saying you have to live in this dorm, and stay on this campus at this time for X amount of years. You get to choose where you want to live when you come to school here. So even though we provide you with those contacts and we host a housing fair every year for our students, where different apartment complexes will come and students can sign up then, you don't even have to pick one of those. So you can choose to live wherever you would like. There are numerous opportunities for housing around our campuses. So there are lots of different apartment complexes and rental properties available for our students. And a lot of times they give them a little bit of a discount sometimes. All right, so let's see. So the next
yeah,
one.
and then describe the campus layout and how
Sure.
easily a blind student can travel between classes and buildings.
Absolutely. So many of our campuses are only one building per campus. So right now I'm at the Advanced Technology Center in Fairmont, and all of our classrooms for this campus are on either one of two floors. So there's only one hallway on the first floor, one hallway on the second floor. And most of the classrooms are going to be located in that one hallway, and everything just sort of connects together. So it's very easy for students to navigate. I always say it's hard to get lost because you're either going to be on the first floor or the second floor, and everything that you need is right there. We do have a student lounge that's on an offshoot hallway, but it's not difficult to find it all. I would say that it would be very easy to navigate these campuses. Our Pierpont Center is also one building, so it's very easy to get into the building. The doors are handicap accessible. The door numbers are Braille, so you can read those. I would say that it would be fairly easy to navigate all in all.
Wonderful. And what about some work-study programs?
Sure. So we do offer work study programs. So that is a way for students to work for the college while they're in college. And it's part of their financial aid, but it comes in the form of a stipend or a paycheck. So it doesn't necessarily get paid to your student account at the beginning of the semester like financial aid would, but you get it in increments. And a lot of those students work the front counter for student services, or they work for our counseling and disability services office as different, I think some of our graphic design students had worked for her before, either as work study or as an internship, designing some of their flyers and things like that. So there are many opportunities for students to get involved there as well. And that is another way for them to learn hands-on, because not only do you get that financial aid, but you also receive that experience of working in an office setting or working, for different departments on campus.
Wonderful. Well, before we sign off with Miss Raven, I want to see if any other schools have any more questions, anything else that you would like to learn or know about this college. And while they're talking about that, if you want to tell us how we can get in touch with you, if they think of something or if they want to know more about Pierpont.
Sure. So if you need to get in touch with us or you have any questions or anything at all, you can call our main line. Our phone number is 304-367-4907, and you can see it there on the screen. You could also email any questions to admit@pierpont.edu or stop by our main office at the Advanced Technology Center, and that's at 500 Gallagher Drive in Fairmont. You could also email me if you have any questions. I'll put my email in the chat here for you. Let me see if I can do that. Maybe, here we go. All right, so there's my email. And even though I deal mostly with student activities and student government and all of that, I have worked with Pierpont for just about 8 years now. So I know a lot of the different departments, so I can answer a lot of questions. And if I don't have an answer, I can certainly find someone who does. So any questions that you have at all, if you think of something afterwards, just let me know, shoot me a quick email and I will get on it.
Okay, thank you so much. It looks like we don't have any other questions coming through. So hopefully if they do have any, they'll get in touch with you. And on behalf of the Education Alliance, I just want to say thank you for taking your time today. Thank you to the schools for joining us today. And we hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Great, thank you so much.